Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And ladies and gentlemen, the NRL season, it may be over. The Melbourne Storm have won it. There's no need to watch any more NRL, but because it's 2020, because of COVID, things have changed. And the footy season is not over yet, because coming up we have the biggest event in rugby league that grosses money worldwide, the most watched rugby league event in the world. It's time for the 3-game State of Origin series between New South Wales and Queensland. Unfortunately, in this year, we aren't going to get full stadiums, but I can guarantee you the passion, the drama will still be there, and plus the sport probably will be even better, maybe not. We're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be without a doubt very interesting to see how this Origin series goes. And this will be the number one of a 2-part little series for this State of Origin, where I'm going to go through each team's lineup and give you my thoughts on each team's squad, and then of course my 1 to 17 teams throughout the series. This first part, we're going to go with the team that has won back-to-back Origin series. They're looking for a three-peat. We're looking at the New South Wales Blues, a team that is on paper a lot better than Queensland. You know, speaking of Denton Kemp, aka Bloke in a Bar, he even said that New South Wales' second team could beat Queensland. So Queensland, they've got a lot to play for, but this team is still, it's on a completely different level. So we can see it here, the New South Wales Blues, what a team. Going to be representing the beautiful state of New South Wales. We'll just have a quick look at the roster. They've picked their 27-man squad, but of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the best, you know. Some big omissions due to injury, due to some other stuff. The big one, we'll get out of the way, Tom Trbojevic, probably one of been New South Wales' most important players over the past 2 years, will not feature in this year's Origin series, which sucks. He's been one of the Blues' better players, one of the more influential players. He will not be competing this year. Another one that I'm very surprised about, David Clement, not through injury or anything, just wasn't picked. I thought he'd be one of the first people picked. It's a very young side. They've won 2 in a row, but it's still a very young side, and David Clement offers that experience. Then you've got guys like Ryan Madison, who missed out, which everyone was talking him up. Some other guys like Liam Munn, they also didn't make it. But with what they've done, this squad, it makes a lot of sense. David Nofaluma also missing out. I thought he would have been for sure in this team, so that's a bit of a shock. But, you know, in Freddie we trust. He's undefeated in the Origin series. Definitely blessed that Cameron and all them retired from Origin when he took over, giving him a little advantage. But hey, you play with the cards you're dealt. And Freddie Fittler has picked his team for the 2020 Origin series, looking to win 3 in a row. So we'll start going in alphabetical order. I'll give you guys my thoughts on each player, and then I'll give you my 1 to 17 that I would probably put out on the field. So starting off, Josh Addo-Carr makes a lot of sense. You know, probably the best winger in the competition in the NRL for the past couple of years. He's done it at Melbourne. We still don't know who he's going to be next year. Probably the Bulldogs. But, you know, Josh Addo-Carr, what a legend. What a player. He's without a doubt one of the New South Wales Blues wingers. A debutant, the Parramatta Eels lock, Nathan Brown. Personally, not a big Nathan Brown fan. And, you know, I respect anyone who can make it to the NRL. Like, the commitment that takes is incredible. But Nathan Brown, I don't like him as a player, personally. I know everyone, like, sort of milks the crash to tackle, but it was probably the Parramatta Eels culture and that. But when Nathan Brown really faked it against the Tigers and stood back up, I lost a lot of respect for him for that. But he's still a great player, no surprises there. Reagan Campbell Gillard, again, like, what a player. He's similar to Josh Addo-Carr. Redemption story for him. He's replaced Clement, to be honest. He's probably going to be starting prop. A terrible year with Penrith. Comes out for Para. Plays phenomenally. He never lost his step. Him and Ivan Cleary don't seem to get along very well, but Reagan Campbell Gillard, What a player. He is back to represent New South Wales after missing out on games 2 and 3 in 2018 and all of last year's Origin series because he wasn't really playing for Penrith. Yeah, Nathan Cleary, what can you say? The best halfback this year, probably. What a player. Should have been Dally M. Was probably robbed. But yeah, he's the halfback without a shadow of a doubt. Didn't play too well in the GF. It hasn't really played that well in Origin so far. Well, he hasn't offered much. He hasn't played bad. He does his job. He has good kicking game and he makes his tackles. But Nathan Cleary, no surprises there. Cookie, again, no surprises there. What an athlete, what a player. Did you know he was a beach sprinter? No, no one did. Damon Cook makes a lot of sense. People have been talking up Appy. Surprised Appy didn't make this team. I think it's because of his commitments to Fiji or something. That's why he didn't get picked. But Damon Cook, you got to be loyal to him. He's had a freakish 2 past Origin series. Damon Cook is the man. Boyd Corner, the captain. Not much else to be said. Boyd Corner, he was one of the worst of players for the Roosters in that 3-game losing streak where they got smashed by the Bunnies, lost to Penrith and lost to the Raiders. But Corner makes sense. He's the captain. Captains form could go down the shider and they'd still be picked because of how good, because they're just the captain. But Boyd Corner definitely deserves it. Nick Kotrich, again, what a player. Probably going to be the winger for New South Wales without Tom Trbojevic there. He played for Australia. He's done Origin before. He's a great player. Bulldog next year. So it'll be good to see him there. Angus Crichton, pretty much the same as Campbell Gillard. Got rejected. Well, not actually really. He got dumped last year. And now he's back after a great resurgence. Stephen Crichton, young gun. Probably won't get much game time, but it'll be good for him to get involved in the squad. An absolutely phenomenal player. What a beast. Dale Finucane, an absolute workhorse like Jake Trbojevic. Melbourne, it would be a completely different team without him. He's an absolute freak. Just works his ass off. Tyson Frizzell. Now, this is an interesting one. This seems to be one of those loyalty picks, but Tyson Frizzell did not have a great year at the Dragons. But he's picked. He's going to the Knights next year. Let's see how he does. Clinton Gutherson. Now, this one's an interesting one because Gutho has had an absolutely phenomenal year. Fullback of the year, deservingly. I know it has a lot to do with that Teddy missed a lot of games, but Gutherson, without a doubt, is a freak of a player. I'll show you where I've put him. I have put him in the starting lineup. Oh, I'm just going to say it. Put him at centre over Lomax, but Clinton Gutherson is a freak. Payne Haas makes a lot of sense. What a player. Absolute workhorse. I'm going to have to skim through these because I'm taking a while. Luke Keary makes a lot of sense. Probably 5'8". Why aren't him and Walker competing for that 5'8" spot? But, you know, Luke Keary, what a freak. Zach Lomax, another young gun, similar to Stephen Crichton. He's had an absolute breakout year in the centres. I know he wants to play fullback, but he's really, really good in the centres, especially for Dragons. Their best player, the Dragons. Probably besides McInnes. Luai, freak for Penrith, absolute young guy. Good to see he's in here. Did go missing in the grand final, but he's young. What can you say? Cameron McInnes, workhorse, finally gets his chance. Probably won't play, but great. Murray, what else can you say? A freak. The Clive Churchill winner, Pappenhausen, is going to make his Origin debut potentially. Probably definitely going to be either fullback if Teddy's injured or the utility coming off the bench. Can play a lot of positions. Absolute freak. The other Parramatta Eels forward, Junior Paulo, makes his Origin debut. His ball movement, his power is amazing. Same as Saifidi. Not that I didn't think he'd make it, but thought his Knights partner would be here, but unfortunately not. You got the best player in the world, James Tedesco, an absolute weapon. 2-time Wally Lewis Origin Player of the Year, Slater. Come on, guys, come on. You got Tom's brother Jake. Again, like Tom, one of the more important pieces of New South Wales. Probably one of the first players picked every single year. An absolute workhorse. That number 13 position for Australia and New South Wales is going to be his for quite some time. Daniel Tupou is back in Origin, which makes a lot of sense. You got Cody Walker, who had so much form. Jack White, the Dally M medalist, controversially, but he's there. Probably going to rep the centres again. And Isaiah Yeo, who is an absolute weapon as well. He's had a breakout year at number 13. what a gun. You know, pretty much won Penrith the game against the Bunnies with that try. But yeah, that is the squad. But let's have a look at my team. So, we're going to line up. At fullback, makes no surprise, James Tedesco, what an absolute gun. On the wing, left wing, I have Josh Carr and Jack White as the centre. Again, same as last year, no surprises there. This is one, Gutho. I put him instead of Lomax just because I think Gutho has earned it. He's been in the system for a couple of years too, so he's probably been playing at centre. Freddie did say that Gutho was going to be centre if Tom Trbojevic was going to play game 2 last year. So who knows, maybe Gutho would have gotten the hat-trick, but he's in there. So is Kotrich. Kotrich has played wing before, didn't play his best game for Origin, but has represented Australia really well. Now, another controversial one. Not the halfback, which is Cleary, but the 5'8", I've gone with Luke Keary over Cody Walker and, well, Jack White, and I thought he's already a centre. He could just go back in there and do his job, but Luke Keary has been robbed of so many Origin appearances. He would have played last year if he didn't get concussed, but without a doubt, he is definitely my 5'8". More consistent over the past couple of years. Walker has had his moments, but has had a lot of stinkers too. But, you know, Cody Walker could get the nod because of how well he did play besides that last game. But Cody Walker, sorry, mate, but I've got Luke Keary. Now, the starting front row, I've put in Campbell Gillard. Now, I thought Gillard is probably the best front row out of everyone here. I think he's an absolute phenomenal player, and he's going to partner Payne Haas with Cookie at the dummy half. You know, this all makes sense. The back row, the one we've seen forever, Corner, Frizzy, and Trbojevic. You know, I could have probably started someone else but Frizzell, but I thought there's no one really there. Maybe you could chuck in Angus Crichton, but I don't like Cameron Murray on the edge, Saifidi, Paulo and all them. There's so many front rowers in this team, but the back rowers are just different, and I thought, go with a bit of loyalty. I've picked a bit of loyalty with this team, so I've gone for Frizzell. At lock, Jake Trbojevic, again, workhorse, one of the most important pieces for New South Wales. Can spread the ball, makes 60 tackles a game, never lets you down. Then, by utility, I've gone with Ryan Pappenhausen. You know, his speed, if he can come in like the 50th minute, he's just going to cause absolute chaos around the middle for Queensland. His speed is unreal. Saifidi, he's in there. Again, a bit of a loyalty pick. Probably will start, but I've got him on the bench. I think he can provide a lot of impact. Same with Paulo. I think Paulo, when he comes on, his offloads will be critical. Tyre out the middle, especially if you put him up with Pappenhausen. And I've got Cameron Murray out lock. Well, not out lock, but on the bench, just as another loyalty pick. Now, Angus Crichton, Nelly had him in there for Frizzell and had Frizzell on the bench. Besides that, I did have Nelly have Finucane. Lomax over Guther was another pretty important one. And then, of course, Walker. And then Isaiah Yo, I really wanted him on there, but I've gone with more of a loyalty lineup. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts on this year's New South Wales Blues Origin squad. And the lineup, you got Tedesco, Carr, White, and Gutho, Kotrich, and friends. Pretty much just Tedesco, Trbojevic, and friends. But they are the favourites. They should win this year's Origin series. But the way I think about it is, if New South Wales and Queensland, if each team plays to their best, I think New South Wales get the dub. So, you know, it's Origin though, anything can happen. But this is the New South Wales team, a team full with talent. New South Wales are without a doubt the better team right now, especially after how bad the Queensland teams have been going. But ladies and gentlemen, there is my New South Wales Blues lineup. The Queensland Maroons squad lineup, my thoughts on that video will probably come out tomorrow or on Friday. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments what your New South Wales lineup would be. And guys, make sure you do subscribe and hit that like button. Chipper Chase! Please work. Yes, Kane Cast! You bloody legend, mate! They're chipping Chase. Kane Cast looking like 2009 Sharon Hayne. What a little legend.